Transparency is going to come into play there. And when you have transparency, you're going to build trust with both your regulators and your customers.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you have trust with your customers, that's what leads to public adoption. If we care about our country being able to stay competitive and stay ahead on technology, we really need to get behind this. Our goal is really to give every founder, every student, every builder, every business owner a voice on Capitol Hill. No, I got into this as a software engineer, read about Bitcoin, and I thought, programmable money, this is amazing. But really what pulled me in was finding out how it can empower people, especially the under-resourced, and give people the financial autonomy that they need.
Hey, what's going on, family and friends? Big congratulations on the major W. The Genius Act just received bipartisan support and is now headed to the Senate floor. While it hasn't passed just quite yet, the Genius Act is a meaningful step forward, paving the way for fully backed stablecoins issued by licensed entities who go under regular security audits and have approval from federal or state regulators. Also, I believe the sound crypto regulations will potentially trigger the next IPO wave, launching stablecoin issuers like Circle, Ripple, and Consensys into the stratosphere. And I had a great time celebrating with my good friend Kelly Niles over tacos and cold beers. In this interview from the Digital Fusion Summit in Dallas last month, I had the pleasure of speaking with Elizabeth Hanson, the Michigan chapter president of Stand with Crypto. We explored the rise of grassroots advocacy in Web3, regulatory sandboxes, and how builders and students alike can help shape policy from the ground up. This is a must listen for anyone passionate about the future of crypto. If you're interested in getting involved in the evolution of this technology, connect with Elizabeth on X, or at the very least, join Stand with Crypto to receive regular updates and industry insights. As a quick reminder, this is a self-funded channel, so if you're interested in sponsoring one of the fastest growing voices on YouTube, feel free to reach out. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you mucho. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the Digital Fusion Summit. I've got Elizabeth Hanson, the Michigan president chapter of Stand with Crypto. How are you doing today, Elizabeth? Thanks for joining me.
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a great summit. I'm telling you, I can't wait till next year because we've got enough substance. We get back days of just good stuff.
Well, you delivered some wonderful news from up on stage, and I was curious or would appreciate if you would be able to be so kind to share some of those data points with the community here.
There's a sense of optimism, cautious optimism, I think, right now. Initially, a lot of enthusiasm, but then we were waiting to see what's going to actually happen, right? But then we were starting to see some bills come through, some executive orders moving in the right direction. But we're still in a place of uncertainty, right? We still are really lacking a lot of clarity for compliance, for classification. In the meantime, what can companies do to navigate this if you're building in Web3? You can join advocacy organizations, statewide blockchain councils. A lot of these organizations or companies, they're there to be strength in numbers for Web3 companies, and they will advocate on your behalf, right? They're going to go and lobby for your interest. If you're a member of their association, they're going to get to know you, your needs, and they're going to represent you to your representatives and really advocate, right, for you as a company. So I think that's super important. Sandboxes, participate in sandboxes. This is a great way to test out ideas.
You mentioned that on stage. For those in the audience who may not be familiar with what sandboxes are, what is that?
Sure, you can think about it like a laboratory, right? A testing ground for you to try out new ideas, right? Technology right now is so new and there's still a lot of uncertainty. So if you're building in a sandbox, you're building under the surveillance of regulators and they're giving you more leeway and it's not punitive, right? They're going to give you live feedback as you're building, and it's a much safer way to do so without having to be afraid of regulatory enforcement, for instance.
Exactly. You're building alongside with the regulator, or at least under their peer review. Everyone's learning together. It's like a community effort.
Yeah, and you're not going to do it forever, but as you're starting out your company and you're really trying to navigate a really complicated, fast-paced, changing environment, it's a great way to do that safely. And then have a partner on your side, right? You've got regulators giving you live feedback, which is really important. And as you're trying to design your system for your company is staying compliant, I think having a good regulatory program is super important. Transparency is going to come into play there. And when you have transparency, you're going to build trust with both your regulators and your customers.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you have trust with your customers, that's what leads to public adoption. I would say another important thing is staying informed, which is so hard, right? I'm in the industry and it's moved so fast. So follow agencies or advocacy organizations that are experts in this, like Stand with Crypto, for instance. Sign up on their website, and they're going to send you emails when bills are coming through in your state that affect you as a crypto holder. And they actually do that so that you have a chance to contact your representatives. When a bill's coming through and your rep is going to be, or your senator is going to be voting on it, they'll let you know what's coming up. They'll break it down for you in terms that you can understand. And it'll be something like, hey, hit this button to send an email to your rep or to your senators. Let them know you support crypto. And it's a really easy way to engage civically and participate and hold your representatives accountable.
Are you familiar of John Deaton, the attorney? Oh, well, he's the creator of crypto-law.us, the website.
Okay.
And that was on his website, there was a pathway to reach out to your local regulators. It sounds like something similar.
Excellent.
And I think that's exactly what this world needs, especially for us to be heard at the forefront.
Absolutely. We need more civic engagement in this. And we need our legislators to know how many people actually care about crypto, how many people are participating in this. And if you look at the last election, there was one side who completely underestimated how many crypto users there are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though, that crypto is nonpartisan, right? This is a technology issue, an economy, and innovation. It's not a partisan issue. It never should have been. So it's good that we've got both sides of the aisle kind of waking up to that and realizing, okay, if we care about our country being able to stay competitive and stay ahead on technology, we really need to get behind this. Our legislators need to spend a little bit of time understanding, talk to industry leaders, get educated and say, okay, yeah, I understand that my constituents really want us to pay attention to this and support good laws that are going to help them out. Yeah.
Did you envision or see this becoming a political movement as it is today?
No, I got into this as a software engineer, read about Bitcoin, and I thought, programmable money, this is amazing. But really what pulled me in was finding out how it can empower people, especially the under-resourced, and give people the financial autonomy that they need. And that's what made me want to be a part of it. And that's not political. That's helping people. That's empowering people. We need to hold our government officials accountable. I think that's really important right now to let them know, hey, this is an important issue to us. So the best way you can do that, if you go on the website for Stand with Crypto, which is standwithcrypto.org, you can actually go to your state and look at your representatives, look at your senators, look at your representatives, see how they voted. We give them a grade. It's actually really fun.
Wow.
Some of them get an A, some of them got an F. You click on it. I know you don't want to be in the red.
Yeah.
You click on it and it'll tell you they voted this way on this bill or they made this public statement. So we're really seeing that politicians are noticing that too. No one wants to get enough.
Switching gears here, Elizabeth, do you mind sharing what your roles and responsibilities at Stand with Crypto are, being the Michigan chapter president for Stand with Crypto?
Oh, sure thing. So I oversee the state of Michigan for Stand with Crypto. And really, Stand with Crypto is about community engagement and political advocacy. So I oversee the grassroots strategy for Stand with Crypto for Michigan. I activate community, both within the cities as well as universities. So I go into universities and help support students that maybe they want to start a blockchain club or maybe they need support with their current club. But that's really where a lot of our innovation is coming from, universities. Not everybody has the resources. So I go in and try to give them that support.
When you say grassroots, it sounds like it's a bottom-up effort in some capacity. And then meanwhile, would you say that this is relatively a top-down initiative, being here at the Digital Fusion Summit? Where I'm getting at, it seems like there's efforts coming from all over the place right now, all at the same time, and it's all happening at once. What do you think is going to become of the world of finance or beyond? Because as the DAG Constellation representative, Ben Jorgensen, the founder of DAG or Constellation Network, like he mentioned, it goes far beyond finance. So what are your thoughts?
You make an interesting point at the top-down, bottom-up, because what Stand with Crypto is doing is allowing politicians to see that the people who really care about this really are from the bottom up. They're the community, they're people, whether they're live in rural areas, the city, they're everywhere. And so it really helps them to understand this is not a corporate issue. This is your constituents. We care about this. And that's a lot of what I do in the state is community organizing and then advocating on people's behalf, right? And helping empower their voice. So our goal is really to give every founder, every student, every builder, every business owner a voice on Capitol Hill. For instance, next month, we're going with some founders from my city to the Capitol. We're going to meet with Congress. And Congress is going to meet founders of DeFi companies and find out how we're using the technology and why it matters to us and the difference that it's making to our cities and our economy. So you can really understand how this is impacting people right at home.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. How can those in the audience reach out and learn more about what you're doing as a leader in the space?
Oh, I appreciate that. If they go to standwithcrypto.org, I would actually encourage you to do that. And you can press join on there and become an advocate. And it's a really easy way to be active and to advocate for yourself and your interest in crypto.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me today, Elizabeth.
I appreciate it. This is fun.
Thank you.